Today I'm going to be taking you through a game that was played in the Casablanca Chess 2024 between Vishy Anand and Magnus Carlsen, two chess legends. So in case you didn't know, Casablanca Chess is basically a chess variant where the players will have to play a position from a historical game, and that position will be equal fighting chances for both of them. So for this game, the position arises from the game between Chigorin and Steinitz in the World Championship match of 1889. So the game featured an Evans gambit, and right here is where the players had to start thinking. So it's White's move, it's Magnus's move. He has to think about the plans. Now the thing about Casablanca chess is that you have to have a good, solid understanding of your classics, of games. You have to know all of them. Not all of them, but you have to know most of them. You have to know the plans behind them. And in this game, you have to be wary of the knight a5 move, which would fork the queen and the bishop. And that could be very annoying for white. And so Magnus does defend against that and plays knight a3. The computer liked to take on e5, revealing the discovered attack on the queen. The queen cannot take because of the knight, and it has to move somewhere. But Magnus plays knight a3, because now after knight a5, which Vishy played, he can go queen a4, and if you take my bishop, I will take with the knight, and I'm forking your queen and your pawn. This is completely winning for white. So Vishy plays his other knight to c6, defending the e5 pawn and providing more pressure to the pawn on d4. So there's a lot of stuff happening in the center in this game, probably because of the fact that white played a gambit. So he has to be very attacking. Now here Magnus does find e5 to take on e5, but it's not the best move. Instead, the computer preferred d5, seizing space, attacking the knight, kicking it out. But Magnus plays d takes e5. Now you can't take because of the knight, and the queen is being hit like this. So Vishy plays the logical, somehow the mistaken move, queen to c5. The reason this is a mistake, it looks fine because you can see the queen and bishop are ramming on the f2 square. The reason this is a mistake is because of rook at d5 and just gambiting the f2 pawn. Because after queen takes f2, the queen is actually trapped. There's nowhere for it to go except for the b2 square, which is where Vishy plays. But now there's rook b1. Now the only other square that's safe is f2. And then you get hit with rook f1, queen b2, and rook b5, trapping the queen. So Vishy makes a logical decision to take the knight and then take the bishop. So he gives up his queen for a knight and a bishop and possibly some attacking chances. So queen a4, knight e3. Now Magnus detonates, rook takes b6. Because if you take the knight, which happened in the game, Magnus will play the brilliant rook c6. In this position, Vishy resigned, because you take the rook, I take your knight. It's a rook, two rooks against a queen and knight, which Magnus can easily win. Now, if you didn't take the rook in this position, you took the other rook, now I would take your knight, and now it's two rooks against a queen, which is not what Magnus wanted to do, because that is sometimes known to be a winning position, or at least a draw for the side with two rooks, which is not what Magnus wanted to go into. Obviously, in this position, he's completely winning, but still Magnus didn't want to enter into such territory and decide to finish the game up with rook takes c6.